Okay, everyone. We know the topic is families, but what exactly are we going to talk about? I mean, how are we going to make it interesting? There's all sorts of things we could talk about. We have to choose a particular area. What do you think, Mandy?
I think we should concentrate on what makes a successful family.
But on the other hand, if we discuss the difference between families around the world, we can make comparisons and show the differences between them.
That's a good idea, Edward. It'll give us more to discuss.
Right. So the next thing is to decide which cultures we should talk about. I think we need to include Arab culture. Ibrahim knows all about families in the Arab Gulf, and Mona knows about North Africa. They're both very different, I think. What do you think, Mona?
Yes, that would be a good start. And then other places. How about somewhere else in Africa? I could talk to David from South Africa.
I agree with Mona. Why don't we then talk about families from one Western country?
I'm happy with that. I could talk about U.S. families. They're interesting. Right, guys, let's have a look at what we're going to put in the slides. The first slide's going to be the introduction, isn't it? So I guess it should have a title. How about Families Around the World, a comparison?
Yeah, so we've got the title. Don't you think we should make a list of bullet points for each of the slides in the presentation?
Oh, yes, definitely. How many slides do we have to do?
Well, the presentation's 10 minutes long, so we should probably have a maximum of 6 slides. Remember that Mona's already got 2 slides about South Africa.
Well, why don't we do 2 slides each? That'd be 8, including the introduction and the conclusion.
That sounds fair enough. Let's do that. So who's going to do the rest of the slides?
I can start off with the introduction, and then I could do the conclusion and the summary at the end. What do you think?
Great. I'd like to talk about families in different parts of the world. I know about the Gulf and can get any other information from you guys.
Fine. So I could do a couple of slides showing how families are similar and how they're different.
We want the presentation to look as if it's been made by a team, don't we, Edward? I think we should have one design for all the slides. Do you agree?
Oh yes, of course. We don't want a different color for each slide. Shall we design a slide now for the rest of the group to use?
Yes, let's do that. Let's have a look. This slide has the program icon on the title box. Shall we keep it there?
No, I don't think so. It hasn't got anything to do with the presentation. Let's take that off.
Fine. And I think we should keep the blue bullet points. They match the light blue title box. What do you think about putting images in each slide?
Oh, absolutely. I think we should put at least one image on each slide.
Good. We're agreed then. Let's send this slide to the others, shall we?
Okay, everyone. I've put all our slides together so we can see if we're happy with the presentation. I think we need to check that we all agree with the order. There's nothing to decide about my slides, the introduction and the conclusion. Obviously, one of my slides goes at the beginning and the other one at the end. Edward's slide comparing the families will have to go after Mona's and Ibrahim's. What we need to decide is the order to talk about them.
Well, we don't want the US first. What about the Arabian Gulf, then North Africa, then South Africa? It's logical. I mean, they connect together. What do you think, Mona?
I'm not sure about the Gulf first. Why not North Africa?
I agree with Ibrahim. Isn't it sensible to connect them all? So start with Arabian Gulf Arab families, link to Arabs in North Africa, and then North Africa links with South Africa, which is the oldest culture anyway.
The Gulf Arabs came before they spread to North Africa.
And South Africa. I think it's quite new.
And the US?
Well, Europeans arrived in the 1600s, only 400 years ago.
You will hear 3 students talking to their tutor about the presentation they are planning. First, in the exam, you will have 20 seconds to look at questions 1 to 4. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 4. Good morning, everyone. So, you're going to tell me about your presentation. First of all, what's your topic? Did you say you were going to talk about the uses of mobile phones?
Not exactly. We're actually going to explain the dangers of using mobile phones.
Ah, okay. That sounds interesting. What are you going to discuss exactly?
Well, we've planned to divide the presentation into 3 sections. We'll have an introduction explaining why we think it's important to understand the dangers of mobiles. Then, on the second slide, we'll have a list of the different types of danger. And then on the last slide, we're going to suggest ways of staying out of danger when you use a mobile.
Yes, we want to start by telling the audience that using a mobile phone can be dangerous and then go into more detail in the next part.
Okay. But before you talk about the dangers of mobiles, I think you should mention the advantages. You could put that in your introduction. It balances up the argument a bit.
Oh, yes. I see what you mean. Right, we'll do that.
Before you hear the next part of the conversation, in the exam you will have 20 seconds to look at questions 5 to 7. Now listen and answer questions 5 to 7. So, shall we have a look at your presentation? Did you bring it with you?
I've got it here on a memory stick. Can we show you on your computer?
Yes, that's fine. Let's have a look. Right. As you say, you're going to add the advantages of using mobile phones to the first slide. Good. Who's going to explain the second slide with all the dangers?
That's me. Do you think I've got enough detail?
Yes. I think there's plenty of information, but I think it's all a bit mixed up at the moment. I mean, you've got dangers like getting headaches in the same list as having car accidents and being robbed in the street. They're all different types of danger, aren't they? I think you should divide them into groups, maybe under separate titles like health, accidents, and security.
Oh, right. Yes, thank you. That'll make it much clearer to the audience. Okay.
Now, in the third slide, you can put your suggestions for staying away from each of these dangers under separate titles. Before you hear the rest of the conversation, in the exam, you will have 20 seconds to look at questions 8 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 8 to 10. Have you got any other questions?
Yes. The presentation should be for 10 minutes. Is that right?
Yes, but 10 minutes in total, including 3 minutes for questions. So you'll only talk for 7 minutes.
That's only 2 minutes each. We won't be able to say much in that time at all.
That's why you have to plan what you're going to say carefully and make sure you only include the most important information. For instance, you won't have time to give examples, but you could put some images on your slides that show examples without spending time talking about them.
Hey, that's a good idea. And the audience can look at them while we talk.
And another thing, make sure all the slides have the same style. You should get together and agree on one style for the whole presentation.
OK, we'll do that too. Thanks a lot for your help.
That is the end of section 3. In the exam, you will have half a minute to check your answers.